Good afternoon. It's Thursday, March 12th. There were times in the middle of winter when I didn't think we would get to this point. We had 4 feet of snow outside. But here we are. Thursday, March 12th. It's 4:02 p.m. Daylight Savings Time, Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to Finding the Advaita, or the Non-Dual in A Course in Miracles. So relax and take your seat. This is all courtesy of an open door, which is a wonderful gathering place for folks that are interested in the wisdom teachings and hanging out together to share experiences and knowledge of how the wisdom teachings influence their lives. So the impulse comes to gather, and the quality of how we are together, how we talk, and how we share. This is our gift to the world. And the purpose of every gathering is discovered in the gathering, but it is always to recognize beauty and to love what is beautiful. And the truth is beauty and love. So conversation rises out of every particle of our being. It is all alive. Welcome to this empty table, a cleared place where something new can happen. Let us take each other's hands, and when we do, let us notice what those hands become. That's my take on Aljamai the Gatherer. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? Anybody have anything that they want to share with the group before we start? We're on page, where are we? We are on page 302, and we're going to start with paragraph 7.
Well, Amy, I'm just going to check in real quick and just say it's a hard day.
Yeah.
That's all. It feels heavier than an average day. It feels it feels like I have to stay very, I'll use a Course in Miracles terms, vigilant,
Mm-hmm.
and to speak less than maybe I would, noticing um an edginess to my inner space. I'm trusting that it's all good. I'm trusting it's it's just old stuff coming up, but it feels good to just be able to say today just feels harder than the average day. I don't need it to be fixed. I'm waiting it out, staying close to home. But thank you for asking for the check-in.
Thank you for your
Hey,
share.
Cindy. Uh,
Mel.
I can go real quick. I
Oh,
think that was pretty
okay.
quick. My day started out that way because I had all the anxiety about. I, I, I'm a secretary and I chair a 12-step meeting on Thursday mornings, and I got to get everything going. And it was a, it looked like it was kind of out of sync from other meetings for a while, and I had the coming. Zoom thing on the open door coming at me, and I know that then this follows, and then I do a goldsmith. And I was Thursday is really an overwhelming day, and all of that was carrying with me. But after you guys got me through the truth everywhere thing today, I've been extremely calm, and nothing is bothering me at all. I, I'm looking forward to this and looking forward to Goldsmith now.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuck. Sometimes it's good to do the hard things, and then afterwards, we're so happy that we've done them. You know? Yeah. Thank you. Mel, and then Josephine.
Okay, okay, good. Hi, everybody. I'm waiting for my sister and brother-in-law to arrive any moment now, so I might have to clear out. And that brings a little, my husband doesn't get along with him too well, so I'm just going to have to be the place of calmness. Thank you, Chuck. Be calm and open and loving. And it was so interesting. This morning it was 85 degrees yesterday. This morning we have snow. We have about a half an inch of snow came all this morning. And the temperature just dropped to about 30 degrees, right? But the sun came out, so all is well. And it's just good. I just had to be with you as long as I can. So this is great.
Oh,
Where
wow.
are you, Mel?
I'm in Virginia, so it's coming your way. Did you get any snow?
Yes, I have a whole lot in the backyard. I'm looking at it. Mhm. But
Crazy.
it looks like it's clearing
Good.
very soon.
Good.
I would just add that I think I'm going to use the word consumed, but it's really paying much too much attention to and taking up too much time in watching the news and being concerned about the world. And it's such a contrast to being here with you and studying the course. And I ping pong. And too much, I think, of my attention falls on the side of watching the news. So I just thought I would share that.
Well, welcome here. It is a sobering time. And as the guides have told us, the stuff is hitting the fan right now, and it's all coming up, and it's there for us to witness and even to be affected by it. Because as we are the witness to the pain and suffering that it brings up in us, seeing it, experiencing it from consciousness and from awareness, it is a different vantage point than actually going down the rabbit hole with it. And I think that's not a bad thing. So thank you for that, Josephine. Lonnie.
When you first said you were going to ask that question, my answer was, I don't know. So I'm glad I had time to sit in it. I am extremely silent. I'm experiencing a level of silence internally that is very different. Very much in this witnessing state, and probably because I just got off this cruise ship, and that was the best place to be, was in witnessing on the cruise ship. But I can feel physically this reverberation, like I'm trying to recover from being with so many people and, so much different energies. And so I think that part of my silence right now is because I'm getting in the car to leave at 6:00 in the morning, and I have a whole week forward of constant interaction again. And I'm feeling a little off balance because I haven't completely figured out where I'm staying, although I know I'll be staying somewhere. But there's this level of silence and peace and calm, even though there are these tears that well up and that, just kind of flow when they want to. And I'm coming up to my mom's birthday next week. And so I understand when those little clouds drift through. And so I think I'm really just being, but not being good or bad, just being. not being happy or sad, just being.
Mhm.
And yeah, and Ilani wants to say that feels pretty damn good, but the rest of me, is like, and that's just what it is. It's just being,
Mhm.
and so beautifully, lovingly silent. And I was noticing it as I was coming through the day. I noticed it in the meeting this morning. There was just this silence. There was nothing to say. So that's how we are.
Thank you. Did anyone think at all, or and we don't have to talk about it now, but I just wondered if anyone thought about whether they'd had an experience of that state of waking up but not being fully awake, not being in the body, but being aware and not having the egoic mind starting to talk again and just witnessing. Lonnie, what you just said kind of reminds me of that in a little bit, except you're still moving in the world and you're more in the body.
One of the things that's been happening is we don't dream. There's been, at least for Ilani, there's been no dreaming. But what you're describing sounds like those times we wake up, or that I wake up, and I feel that I'm climbing up out of something from wherever I've been. And I don't know what it is. I don't, and there's no fear. It's just that I have to climb up out of that depth of sleep or whatever, um, to become kind of oriented here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that real feeling of climbing. But I couldn't tell you if what dreaming is, because I don't have any memory of that.
Okay. Okay. And William, good afternoon.
Yes, this is my first time here at this time. I've just been really so, like you talked about being silent. Um, it seems like the whole world situation, I just am finding myself way back here, observing it, noticing it, engaged in some ways. I've spent hours listening to podcasts about the militarization, the bombing, the missions, the UK, all these ex-military men who are describing everything. So it's like I've gotten really exposed to the whole gamut of what seems to be going on, not just because I've listened to the CNN, Fox, MSN, all that, but what it just seems like they have allowed my aperture to be open so wide because I've been really selectively looking, siding with the left, the Democrat, what I hear on our TV in different ones. But this is like, wow, oh, these people are really saying it like it is. They're not just talking about what needs to be done, but they're describing it. What that's done for me is that it's like I don't have a fear now of what's I'm going to hear. It's like I've heard the worst because really it sounds far worse than whatever I've been hearing from the TV because these people are knowledgeable about battle. They've designed flight plan. They've been at the core of all kinds of operations, and they just describe it as really very, very serious. But you know what? Yeah, I can hear that now. It doesn't seem to really trigger me. Something else that's tied in here. I joined a Bible group. Boy, does that bring up lots from the past, my past? But you know what? I'm confronting, in the way I'm confronting these other guys that I know, their use of how they interpret the Bible, how they justify it. Let's kill them before they kill us. It's like, wow. But I'm approaching it with what seems so clear to me. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, and then just this about an hour ago, we got some really upsetting news from our son and daughter-in-law and 3 grandkids. They're planning a divorce, and it just like the shit just hit the fan. But you know what? Oh, it's going to be horrendous. But again, I'm just I have this space of I've reached out any way I can love and support. I'm available, Diddy and I, but I have no feelings of, oh, I got to do this or I should do this or what's going to happen. I got none of that. It just seems like all these years of being aware and observing and all the hundreds of books and videos and lectures and so forth, I can just be very silent. And I feel with each of these people that I'm exploring with, it's just such a nice space. And I have no urge that I need to fix, do, change. I'm available. And I feel like what I'm bringing is such a nice space of, I really want to hear. So when I talk to these guys that are so, I guess I've never known what a MAGA was, I think that I'm right in the midst of it. And it's like I'm approaching it with such curiosity.
Well,
Tell me.
hopefully, William, this reading will give you some depth.
Okay, that's enough then. Yeah,
It'll
go
give
ahead.
it'll give you some depth. And so I don't know if you have the Course in Miracles version of the Circle of Atonement. Okay.
Yeah, I probably did. Anyway,
Okay. All right, Chuck, and then Chuck, would you
this?
yeah, it's the Circle of Atonement. Is that what you have? I can't quite read it. At the
Okay.
bottom, is there a gold bar at the bottom
Yeah,
that
yeah,
says
yeah.
Circle of
Says circle.
Atonement?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
you
does.
got it. All right, we're on page 302. Chuck and
Okay.
then Carol.
Okay, I'm going to be real quick. I don't want to, but I was really wanting to kind of touch this on the guides thing that we do. I just maybe it's appropriate to wait till or deal with that. You ignited by the dream. I and Cindy shared the dream that she was linking somewhat maybe to making everything new. I had a very I don't do very often, but I just a week ago, as I started dreaming just before I woke up, and I woke up with this, and I had this awareness that it was so unusual, and the content was not related to anything that I normally would dream or relate about but it was like working something new and working in and I I was it seemed like what my question was that got me. I didn't whether I should try to do it in contemplation, if it was linked to the guides, it's something about that I should be looking at and deeper to see the direction I should be going or making it healing. So I was going to bring it up to, should I wait and do that maybe in the next guides thing rather than here?
Yes, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that share, though. Carol.
Hi, everyone. I have a question for you, Amy, or anybody, actually, for that matter. But in all of our the teachings and the books that we read and the conversations and the teachers or whatever talking to seekers and whatnot, and so I'm just going to ask what you think about this and what the course would say about conversations and words. Are they not just thoughts?
I'm not sure what
Is
your
there any
question,
difference?
what,
Well, because it's very clear that thoughts just, I don't know, they happen. Like there's nothing directing them or creating them or thinking them. They're
yeah,
there.
Carol,
They
that
come and
was,
they go.
yeah. And I'm gonna interrupt you only to reinforce what you're
Okay.
saying. That was, that was why I asked people to sit in that quiet, quiet space before you're fully awake. When you just wake up, you're not in your body and you're not in your thinking mind yet. You're still in that sort of
Hmm.
dark womb-like space before
Okay.
you fully awaken. And just to rest in that space
Hmm.
and watch what comes up. Because what will come up is just what you said, Carol. Thoughts will come up. And when you're in that space, just before you wake up, before you've gotten out of bed, when you're still very, very much in that sort of liminal space, you can see clearly how what Carol just said is exactly right. Thoughts just come. And you are the quiet silence, witnessing awareness in which they arise. And so what I was asking folks to do was just take a moment before you get up and just wait and rest in that open space and have an experience. So that's what it was,
Yeah.
Carol.
Okay.
Sorry to
I
interrupt.
wasn't even pertaining to that.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
This
that's
was like
okay.
coming from a totally different thing. So
I
sorry
stole
if I
your,
messed somebody up.
no, I stole your
No,
moment there.
no, I seriously wanted to ask. All I can, thoughts are projected out as sound. Conversations take place. They're created out of thoughts. All is mind.
What's mind?
Well, I'm not sure how the course might put it, but I would say my experience of that would be thoughts arising, sensations
Yep.
that come up, and all that is aware, all that is known, all that is within the knowing of it. The most prior, that which can't be spoken of. So that's what I would say mind is.
Okay.
Um, and they create, all of that, mind, all of those aspects, whatever, um, are the creation really of experiences. There
Okay.
can't be experience without sensation, perception, thoughts.
Okay. Would you be agreeable to taking um your question and applying it to the reading so that we can Would you be willing to take the first paragraph 7 and
Oh, sure.
see what that does to your,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
okay?
Good. Okay. So 7, the goal of the curriculum. Am I right there?
Yes, and I think
Okay.
this is directly what you were saying.
Okay. The goal of the curriculum, regardless of the teacher you choose, is know thyself. There is nothing else to learn. Everyone is looking for himself and the power and glory he thinks he has lost. Whenever you are with anyone else, you have another opportunity to find them. Your power and glory are in him because they are yours. The ego tries to find them in yourself because it does not know where to look. But the Holy Spirit teaches you that if you look only at yourself, you cannot find yourself because that is not what you are.
So first, this tells us, know yourself, right? And that relates to Carol. Am I my thoughts?
No,
No. They change, they come and go. Am I my emotions? No. They come. Am I my sensations?
no.
No. So how do I know what I am?
I don't fully. That's my, I know I am, I know there is awareness.
And
I
that's what
can't
I
even
am.
say I am that. I mean, what does it mean to be I?
I think
There's,
you have to say, I am aware.
yeah,
We
but
have to,
all is aware. There's only awareness.
yes, but
Like
I
I
don't like,
can't find a specific thing that it can say, I am aware or awareness. There's nothing but that.
yes, but we can go so global that we get confused. And I want to try to avoid that
Okay.
because each one of us knows we are aware. I am aware, right? A scale cannot weigh itself, Cindy says. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like there's definitely, of course, there's awareness. That's all there is awareness.
And so what this is saying, I think, in this paragraph is first of all, know myself, know that I am awareness. And then it is asking us to extend that knowing to the other. I know myself as the I am, and I extend my I am knowing to the other. That is what they are too. It is saying the
Yes.
consciousness you know yourself to be, which you call you, is the same consciousness in the other. And this is the path of love.
Yes. And which is why there really isn't any me other than thoughts and sensations and memories and all of that, which are like processes. They're stories, they're created stories that created the Carol and Carol's life and Carol's whatever, but they're not essentially what is.
Right.
But, and that which brings me to my ultimate question. It's all stories.
But what is it?
Life's experiences,
What is life?
happenings, experiences, and all experiences are created. They're all experience is created out of thoughts and emotions and sensations and patterns and
And so what?
perceptions
So
and
what, Carol? So what?
yeah, but they create all of these stories.
So what?
Well, it's just that the stories are coming and going and changing and misunderstood and aren't reality.
Who is misunderstanding?
Right.
It's all
That's
just
part of
happening.
the story. That's the story. That's the entire story. Within it's one story of a
Okay.
world with
Okay.
people.
Okay. I'm gonna stop this line because I think it's confusing, right?
Okay.
I don't disagree with you, but I want to stay on track here.
Okay.
And so feel free if we go through in the reading and you find something, Carol, that reinforces or goes deeper into what you're sharing, don't hesitate to call that out. Okay? I totally invite you to call that out. All right? And then Lonnie, and then we're going to read paragraph 8, and Chuck is going to read paragraph 8, if he will.
I will.
I guess my thing is this not what we as expressions of the divine are here to experience? Is this not what we are here to experience? I get really caught up. Like, there's a part of me, there's a lot of me that gets really kind of caught up in this thing of the marginalization of the ego. Because if all is of God, then God damn it, that too is of God. And it has a function in the experience of the human being. And it feels like even in this sometimes, it feels like there's this pushing apart or separating of these different things when the basic sentence in truth is all is of the divine. All is of God. I don't care how you color it. I don't care how you shape it. I don't care what you do with it in words. All of it. Everything. Iran is filled with God. All of it. And we sit down and we take it apart in these little bitty pieces as though we're trying to find where God is not. God is not in any place God is, I don't know how to say
Yeah.
this. God is all. We don't decide to walk away and then come back to God. God doesn't walk away. We're the only ones that turn our backs and close our eyes.
That's right.
But all. And even that fucked up ego that everybody wants to kick out. I'm so happy I have my ego because my ego tells me when something has triggered me, and if I choose to change it, that lets me know where I need to look.
Yeah.
I think that words are very important because I think words create the experience that we step off into.
And I think that is why Rupert Spira quotes St. Augustine, love and do what you want. Love and do what you want. Know yourself, the awareness, the consciousness that is ever abiding, never not abiding. When you first wake up in the morning, consciousness is right there, silent, peaceful.
Even when you're asleep, it's there.
Even when you're asleep. And you know that because it's brought forward the dream into itself. If you were not conscious, you would not remember the dream. And even if you don't remember the dream, you're still consciousness. It never, never is not. And that's what
God
you
is never
are.
not.
It's
Right.
never not. So have your experience. Don't friggin' worry about whether it's real or not real or whatever. You know your consciousness. You know what you are. That's the only thing that we know is real. Your faith.
Exactly.
off your in our place.
And that's what really kind of
It
freaks us up when people are
it
saying
points
what's
to
real
what
and what's
isn't the
not.
reality. It points to what is temporary and passing and changing and what not. And
There was,
those are all stories of trying to figure out, just in hearing stories presented, that trying to find peace and trying to find what I am. It already is what it is. There's nothing to find. And
That's
all these stories, it's like
there's nothing wrong with
going on.
stories.
No, but it's like, it's not the truth. And it does in some way appear to block the experience,
the stories create
the
whatever,
self, the
right?
truth.
They create whatever experience that the stories tell until you're no longer guided by the stories. But the
Yes,
stories are
yes.
also a part of the
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we
Until they're
forget
no
so that we can
longer
remember.
required. Yeah.
Exactly.
Until they're no longer required. And then, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be usurping
I
Ray's
keep being
class.
reminded inside that I was going to be quiet too.
All right. Regis, we're on page 302, and Chuck is going to read paragraph 8.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Whenever you are with a brother, you are learning what you are because you are teaching what you are. He will respond either with pain or with joy, depending on which teacher you are following. He will be imprisoned or released according to your decision, and so will you. Never forget your responsibility to him, because it is your, that wasn't underlined, so I emphasize that. Your responsibility to him because it is your responsibility to yourself. Give him his place in the kingdom and you will have yours. The kingdom cannot be found alone, and you who are the kingdom cannot find yourself alone.
This is an
Wow,
important.
that's a marvelous paragraph. I gotta read that again and again after we're done.
What did you like about that, Chuck?
I love the part that's underlined and the emphasis about what was clearly you and not you, and know that see where I love what to achieve to defeat its own goal. Or say, wait, I'm in 8, right?
Yep.
You are teaching what you are.
This is a paragraph that is teaching how to live in a world that believes and reinforces the idea of separation, and it's teaching how to overcome that. And I
Yeah,
use
yeah. You
and I
put
use the
it like
word
that.
overcome. Yeah, it's how to live in a world that still is fully in the dream, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly the way
Yes.
I felt. I couldn't
Right.
say it.
That's what this is saying. And so this is what I love about this carol
Mhm.
is sometimes non-dualism can become solipsism, where it's everything except what is real for me is a dream, right? Everything's a dream except what I see. And this says no. It says you cannot get out of the dream itself unless you see
Right.
the other as yourself,
Right.
right?
Right. Absolutely. Because if you're, yeah, definitely.
So
But
even if we take the path of being the sage or the hermit or the ascetic, we still have to interact with
yes.
ourself which is in the
Yes.
dream is the other. We have to do that, right?
Yes.
And we
Yes.
don't just interact, we interact knowing that we are interacting with ourselves. So we
Yeah.
treat the other with love because that's what they are and that's what we are.
Absolutely. There's not any yourself because that would make a singular, separate self. There is just all that is. There is just not to absolute,
There is
whatever you
only
want to call
source,
it.
only source.
Only source. And so that just as when Ken said, there is no world. That's the whole thing at some point. And I guess that was ultimately what I was trying to say. All of this is like a bunch of little stories in a great big story. And it's wonderful, don't get me wrong. It's fantastic experiences, but that's what it is.
That
And
is,
none of it
that,
can be ultimately true because it is all temporarily made experiences within the one big experience of the world. The
yes.
only reality is what can't even be spoken of.
I guess sometimes when I hear it that way, I get kind of sad about just but there's, the divine is here expressing as all these beautiful waves. And so when I hear, well, it's just this or it's just that, I'm like, this is the divine that gets to be all these things. And so I am struck with the awesomeness of it. And the just this or just that is like, well, it's not really awesome. Of course it's awesome.
Of course, it's awesome. Yes.
There's a Buddhist saying that being born human is considering all the things we can be born into and as on this planet, being born human is as likely as a sea turtle popping its head up through a tiny ring in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's how rare it is to get the opportunity to incarnate as a human and have these experiences.
And I think, Lonnie, what you just said really closes the loop on Carol's explanation because, yes, it's all a story. None of it is real. It's real. It's all a dream, but it's a beautiful experience that
Yes.
we as Source are giving to ourselves. What a joy it is to interact with yourself and to learn to love yourself, even when you're naughty. Even when you've started a war, even when you have the wrong, gender or no gender or personality, once we know ourself as we started out with, and we know the other is myself, that loosens up the entire knot and allows us to experience the joy. So, yes, it's all a story. And we don't want to go down the rabbit hole and believe that the story is what we are. But once we know ourself, as a course is saying, know yourself in paragraph 7, and know the other is yourself, and then love and do what you want. Right?
But that story too. It's a story of the course. Just like they say, and I mean, Ken said that in many ways. Drop it. It will take you to past and it all is creation. It all is that. It's still, and I think that's why all of these teachings come up and yet they say these are just ideas. Don't believe them. They're not the truth. They're pointing you to something.
They're pointing you to recognizing that because you have the divine that created you within you, you create your own reality and experience of this existence on this planet.
I guess
It all comes
I
back
guess
to
they're
you.
pointing to whatever isn't even a story,
Right.
beyond stories, beyond thought.
I
And
can
the
see
only thing that's not
Mel
a
is,
story is this moment in presence right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And knowingly experiencing, knowingly imagination happening, knowingly all of that. But
I'm gonna ask Mel if she wants to comment because I can see she's chomping at the bit here.
No, no, I'm good. I'm just absorbing all this. So thanks, Amy. Though.
Okay. I thought maybe you were
I'm good.
okay. So yes, all arising now. Who's going to read paragraph 9? Mel, thank you.
Okay. To achieve the goal of the curriculum, then, you cannot listen to the ego. Its purpose is to defeat its own goal. It does not know this because it does not know anything. But you can know this, and you will know it if you are willing to look at what the ego has made of you. This is your responsibility because once you have really done this, you will accept the atonement for yourself. What other choice could you make?
Well, that's definitely the progressive path, isn't it? But it is building on the other paragraphs that say, know yourself, know the other is yourself. And this is a very Jenny Beal teaching here. Look at what makes you happy. This paragraph is actually calling for self-inquiry. It's asking us to willingly look at the results when we choose from the idea of separation or the ego, and then what results when we choose to look at ourself as awareness and as the other as the same. And it says we are responsible for this inquiry because we are free. Only consciousness, which is self-illuminating, can know itself, right? When we investigate and we inquire, what am I? I am that I am. I am the awareness that is aware someone's talking right now. That's what I am. And that is what the other is also. And when I treat the other knowing that they are the consciousness and the awareness that I am, does that make me happier? That's a form of self-inquiry. If it makes me happier, then that points me to something. Because isn't the goal of self-awareness, if there is a goal, to know your true self as happiness? So that's what I see in paragraph 9. It's asking for self-inquiry. It says, do I listen to the egoic thought system, or do I rest in the awareness that I am source consciousness and the other is source consciousness? And do I treat them as I would want to be treated because they are me? And then what's the result of that? Only I can know because it's my experience as source awareness. So this is actually a very respectful paragraph. It's telling you, you will accept atonement if you do the self-inquiry. And atonement is at one-ment, unity awareness, unity consciousness. It's very progressive, this language, it really is. And but that's, if we really dig into the non-dual meaning of these words, that's what this is saying. We are a feisty group. I love it. I love it. It's so important that we can have this conversation. There are very few places where we can actually talk about this stuff. Carol brings up, Carol just keeps us to the truth. She keeps our nose to the truth. And Mel does too. And then Lonnie brings in the human side, the love side, which is also so important because the non-dual teaching doesn't matter a hoot if we don't remember that it's all love, right? Otherwise, it's just intellectual map making, right?
I just want to say that I feel like the last 2 or 3 days I've been so often in the awareness. And then I notice when I'm here trying to share it, no, I'm not in awareness then. I lose it. And I think that's, and so right now, but I look back and say, wait a minute, I've been having such a good feeling of kind of holding all these things that are going on around me. So it just feels like I've been at peace with all this. But now when I try to share it with you, man, it's like, boy, my ego just gets all caught up. And like, immediately when I finish, oh, that was too long. Oh, God's sakes. So anyway, it's just like the group triggered. No, I get triggered. And it's so, anyway, I just want to say, wait a minute. I think I've been walking around as just being at a oneness. And then when I start to share it, I need to just stop.
Mm. All I can say, William, is that I think so often we remind ourselves when we share, as this thing, as it said, you cannot find yourself if you look only at yourself. You cannot find yourself if you're not sharing with the other, which is source, because that is our experience here, is finding ourself in the other. But we also have to know ourself, which requires us to do self-inquiry. And we can do that only when we are in our awareness, which is a feeling of no one can come into that space. That's the altar of our own awareness.
Well, see, I feel I spend a lot of time there, but I don't feel connected when I try to share it here. And so I'm saying that, yes, that's what I feel when I'm inquiring, because I spend so much time inquiring. I love it. I love it. I love it. But here, I'm not that free to do the inquiry, apparently, because I don't feel that connection. I feel the ego tried something. It didn't feel connected. But what the last thing I want to say, it's the juxtaposition of when I'm not in the moment, I can really notice it. So I like it that when that ego does whatever it flip-flops, it shows me. When I listen with people, I see they and I are one. They are a mirror. But the moment, so I need to stop now because it's the ego that's starting to speak.
Well, and paragraph 10, Cindy, can we read paragraph 10? Would you read paragraph 10 before you comment? Because this actually once again touches on what William was saying. So we're on page 303, paragraph 10.
Having made this choice, you will begin to learn and understand why, when you have met someone else, you have thought he was someone else. And every holy encounter in which you enter fully will teach you that this is not so. You can encounter only part of yourself because you are part of God, who is everything. His power and glory are everywhere, and you cannot be excluded from them. The ego teaches that your strength is in you alone. The Holy Spirit teaches that all strength is in God and therefore in you. So, are you okay if I tell you why I raised my hand?
Yeah.
I'm here during the class. I'm just pacing, and listening and absorbing. But I was challenged by William's share, and what I'm learning is I almost put my hand down because I felt like Amy may have spoken to what was on my heart, but Lonnie would have caught me if no one else did. What I am learning is that we're whatever we are, we're in it together. And so if there is an egoic feeling that I am not safe to express in the company of others, then I would suggest that's where the work is to be done. Because it's in our expression of the truth with others that I believe we're being asked to show up. We're being asked to speak what is true for us in the moment. We're being asked to bring our confusion and our heartaches and our awarenesses and our direct experiences and everything else to those that show up in our world. And I don't know what we're doing. Like, I don't disagree with anything anybody said here. I am allowing myself to be really healthily confused relative to what's real and what's a dream. And I love that Regis's, I love Regis's haircut, by the way. That may be a really human thing to say, but it's very cool. Not that I disliked your hair before, but there's something about us joining and speaking our truth, whatever it is. And so there's something in me that every time I hear one of us, because I've been saying this for as long as we've been in Open Door, whenever I hear someone say, I should shut up now, or I've spoken too much, or they raise their hand and they put it down, something in me wants to call that out, because that has to come from a sense of being a separate being. If we're feeling like we're too loud or we're too exposed or we're going to create harm by speaking what's alive for us right now, then we're coming from the belief that we have to defend ourselves against
Yeah.
what? And
Yeah.
so I love every time you speak, William. I love even when you say, this doesn't feel right. I love when we all speak. I love when it seems like we're sharing from two opposite ends, because there's something about the energy that, like Lonnie talks about it all the time. She walks into this space. She's so attuned to the energy. There's a consciousness that's outside of whatever we think we are that is working on us every time we get together. And somehow, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and exposed, and when we allow ourselves to, have that love fest that Richard's always talking about, or when we allow ourselves to say, I don't see it that way, all of it means that we're exposed and we're vulnerable, and we're allowing ourselves the opportunity to know that our brother is ourself.
What I just am so aware of is that it's such a difference when I'm with one person versus more than one.
Well, then that's your work.
Of
Your work
course it is.
yeah.
You don't think I know that?
All right.
Done
I'm
all my
taking
life.
back. I want to draw your attention to paragraph 12, line 4. It says, giving of yourself is the function that God gave you. So when we share here, we are sharing ourself. This is a place where we come to speak the truth, where we come to, and I don't mean speak the truth just in sort of a linear way. We come and we create this safe space as a place where we can sit in silence as the speaker until we are moved to say what we need to say, where we can sit and draw deeply within our being and then bring it out and lay it in front of everyone else and know that everyone else is receiving it and will wait patiently for you to finish what you're saying. Except I didn't do that with Carol very well today.
You did.
But that's what we do for each other. And that's where we draw on the truth within ourselves and we bring it out and we hear ourselves speaking the truth. And we know it will be received. And if our truth can be put a different way or added to a little bit or shifted a little bit or more deeply explored, then we trust that everyone here will help us do that. I've been so spoiled by the power of this community that I have a hard time sometimes sitting with others who don't listen, who talk over. You know, I don't have patience for it anymore because I've been so taught by this community about what is possible. And I just want to share that, William, and I really appreciate, William, your bringing that out in me because I've been waiting for a while. That's been kind of coming in and wanting to come out in me, and I didn't know that until your share. So I want to give Mel an opportunity and then we'll start to close up.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I'd love to.
Mel, please.
Oh, I was just grateful for Cindy today because when you said, you put things out there and then, you don't know. And then it's such a responsive community because I asked that question. Then after that, I said, oh, it wasn't appropriate. It really wasn't the right thing, blah, blah, blah. And then Cindy spoke, and then she went back to that and found something to share that was really great, actually, from what you shared about the going vertical, in time. So, that's so grateful for that, and how each other picks up on, expand. We expand through each other, and it's so. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd love to make last comment. I spend a lot more time listening when I'm in the vertical. My ego plays in this field. I can see those two dimensions very clearly.
So the power and the glory belong to Source, right? And so do we, because that's what we are, right? And so I want to thank you for being here and sharing today. And we're going to start next week on freedom. Oh, next week. I won't be here. When we get back, when I get back, we're going to start on freedom of will.
It's next week already. All right, let me turn off the recorder.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, freedom of will.